Okay. Attempt two. Take two. All of that. I hate Instagram sometimes, but we love Instagram at the same time because I can't be bothered to get on Twitch or anything. Right. I'm going to wait till people send me invites, I think, tonight. So, yeah, here we go. Don't accept. Everyone just sends me an invite. I won't message anyone around because that seems to be sometimes where the issues happen. So, my answer games, if you send me a little invite, we'll get you on board again. I hate Instagram sometimes. You'd think it'd be simple, wouldn't you? You press two buttons and you're able to talk to people. Accept. I've accepted everyone. So let's see how we do. Okay. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. My Life Games. Hello, both of you. Thank you very much for coming on. I'll just get my co-host in because now I seem to be not allowing him in. So apologies there. Please don't worry. This is a regular occurrence every week for us. That Instagram is complete pants and will never work. So I do apologise for this. Right, Dunk is saying you can't join, so I'm going to invite you. Let's try it that way around, and we'll go from there. So while we're waiting for my co-host to join us, I want to say thank you very much for agreeing to come on. Here he is now. Although I don't know. Don't turn it on yourself. There you go.
Hey folks, how you doing?
All right.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Managed to wangle myself out the bed to come down and speak to you, lovely folks. So I really hope that you appreciate me getting out of my deathbed to come down and speak chat to you.
No one needs to speak to you in bed, mate, ever.
No, I think Walkgate schedules are still get nightmares after the time I joined his chat when I was in my bed. So yeah.
Cool. Right, so I'm going to start off proceedings. Again, Mr. and Mrs. My Lance Games, thank you very much for joining us. I'm Penchhammer, aka Casey, my co-host Dunk, aka Dunk Holmes. When we started up this little chat show called The Inquisition, and we're not the biggest of accounts, the pair of us, but we feel that sometimes you need to be screaming from the top about champion other accounts out there, because everyone knows all the big boys, you know, all the big shops, the big companies, but there's lots of good accounts, lots of good shops and everything that goes under the radar. And my personal experience with your shop, the one time I've been there, was extremely positive, and I'll get back on that in a minute. But
that's what we like to do.
We always start off our show with a really few quick, easy questions just to warm up. So tell us a little bit about yourselves, who you are, when you started hobbying, and what got you into it.
That's all me. I'm Nathan. I am old. And I've been in the hobby properly in the hobby for 30 odd years. So started when I was like 4 or 5 with Airfix models and tanks and all that sort of stuff. And then when I was 10, I picked up a copy of White Dwarf that just happened. I was telling someone today, actually, it just happened to be one of the like Golden Demon specials where they had like all the minis that had been finalists and what have you from that year, which I think is 1990. And then it all just went wrong from there, because then I had to go and hunt down a Games Workshop and find a box of Space Marines and fell down a massive rabbit hole.
So
yeah, that's like 30 odd years later, we own a game shop.
Cool. And we normally ask a lot of people about their hobbying stuff, but given that primarily your account is shop run, I felt it was worth. We like I say, we like to get some of the smaller accounts on. Some of the people you may not know too well, and given that you're up in your little corner of the world in Bridlington, there, you know, I love the place. I think it's great, but it's not the most sort of well-known area. You know, you look at everything around you. You've got Hull below you. You've got Middlesbrough above you. And apart from like York or Cross, you've got nothing in that whole sort of little corner of the world. Yeah. So what was it that made you want to open up a shop?
Well, we live here. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
And everything shuts in winter. So the big shops, like you say, they've got all universities, and they keep going all through the seasons, and the shop stays open, but the town just shuts.
Yeah.
And then there's nobody about.
It probably would make more sense to move everything that we've got. I mean, like, if you've been to the shop, you know, but like, move everything that we've got and move to York or Leeds or whatever, and have more of a central position. But we live here and our family's here,
and we'd let our community down, because then they'd have nowhere to go.
That's it.
And we don't like doing things like that.
That's it. And I must get asked at least once or twice a week when we're opening another shop somewhere else. But unless I could replicate everything that we've got, like, that ain't gonna happen.
I'm trying to clone you, aren't I? But it's not working.
So I don't know if you can see in the chat there, but we're actually getting a lot of good feedback from you guys.
I can't see the chat because I've had to put the phone in a blue roll toilet holder. So I can't see that bit.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'll read it out for you. So we've got someone called Carl Meister AOB. He says, I love Mighty Lancer games, and it reminds me of how Games Workshop used to be back in the 80s. Free Fire's gaming group. I've had fantastic service from MLG every time I've ordered from there. And I usually do an order with my brother. And Carl Mr. AOB again says, I've done mail order from AMLG, but needs to make the pilgrimage at some point. And actually, there's more. Every time I look, there's more coming in. I think this guy might be a local customer. He says, if you didn't do your game nights, none of us would have a social life. So there you go. And Dad and Lad 40K, we bought from them for before, top job. So you guys are well enough known in, I suppose, in the smaller area. Where you say that, everything does shut down in Bridlington around the winter months, have you found that you've got a really strong community in your area then that, really focus on coming to you, buy from you, use your facilities, or is it more that you do a lot of online business more than anything else?
Both. Honestly, both. So if we weren't trading online, we probably wouldn't still be open.
No.
Because COVID would have killed us, like it has with so many small businesses and what have you. Because I'm not going to name any names, but unlike some other stores in the UK, we're not millionaires. So there isn't, we started out with a very small budget when we first initially set up, like, Mighty Lancer Games online, and then we opened in a tiny little shop to test the waters, because
it's a barber's now. That's how small it is.
Yeah, it's like it's about 3 meters square, the shop that we opened with to start off with, because the rent was cheap. But some suppliers won't sell stuff to you unless you've got a brick and mortar store, so you've got to start somewhere. But then it was successful enough that we could move, and then we've moved again. Now we're never going to move. We're never moving again because the building that we're in is huge. But yeah, so if we weren't selling online, we probably wouldn't still be here. But we have got a very good, loyal community who, like, keep coming in and buying, like, figures for D&D or a box of Space Marines or whatever it is, and they pay the bills and keep us going. We're not rich. We're never going to be millionaires, but
the phone's in a toilet tube. I think he knows that we're not rich.
The reason that we keep the shop going is because we love the hobby and we love the community. That's
You're a gamer that's dream was to open a game shop, and he managed to do that. But at the base level, he's still a gamer, and so everything that we do comes from what he would want to see in a game shop and what he would want the community to be like, and what games nights and things he wants them to be like, because he's a gamer rather than a shop owner.
I always thought when we started was I want to price it wherever we can. Obviously, I want to price stuff at what I'd like to pay for it if I went into a shop and was buying it. So some stuff you can't really discount it, and some stuff, like, you can. Games Workshop have made things tighter and tighter over the past few years. They like cut the margins that retailers get and what have you. So we had to reduce how much discount we offered on things, but we do as much as we can. So it's good. I guess. And customers are happy. You know, we can't get it right 100% of the time. It'd be nice to, but like things inevitably like go wrong. Stuff's out of stock or has walked out the door without somebody paying for it or whatever. It's like it's just the way it is, unfortunately, in business.
So we know about Mr. Mighty Lancer, but what about Mrs. Mighty Lancer? How did you get into the hobby? Were you tricked? Like, were you like when you started dating? Was it just one of those that you kept it quiet, and then before long, you just kind of you were looking through his cupboards and like you're attacked by nuts and space marines?
No, well, I always knew that he was a nerd, so that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I didn't know quite how much the dream to open a shop was, because we both had proper jobs. You know, like he had a proper job with a company car and things like that. But he wasn't happy. He you know, when you've got this passion and then you have to go 9 till 5 and sit in an office and do that, and he wasn't happy. And then the place that he worked was making people redundant, and half of you thinks that's terrible because like that's our life and we've got to look after the family, and then half of him was like, please make me redundant, please make me redundant.
Pick me.
and he didn't, and he was like, oh, I've got to go back to work now. And then they had another round of redundancies, and it went on for quite a while without him getting picked, which was making him more grumpy. So we decided to have a backup plan. So the backup plan was to open this little tiny bit online first and see how it went. And then if he did get made redundant, then there's a safety net. Because I had a full-time job as well, but there's this safety net. And then eventually, much to his delight, he lost his job and managed to just do his dream. And then I retired 3 years ago, so I do it now as well.
But you've got really into painting.
I paint things, but I don't play. But I did just marry the hobby. that's what happened.
So like
I didn't do anything at all.
She's been painting for about 3 years. I've been painting for 30 odd, and she's better than me.
No,
it's frustrating.
so you said that you are millionaires, but anybody who retires now, no disrespect to yourself, Mrs. MLG, but you don't look a day over 25, so you must be a millionaire if you retired 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was more. The little one was little, so I'd reduced my hours down, and then it was I was working 9 till 5, and then 5 till midnight with the shop, and it was just getting a bit silly. Yeah. So we said, okay.
She says she's retired, but really she works for...
Yeah, I work all the hours God sends, but just don't get paid for it. So we decided that if we could live on baked beans, then we could both just run the shop. Yeah. So that's what we do.
So
and we're training the daughter up to come and work in the shop.
Yeah. Of course, you have to. It's part of the parcel. You retire so she could live this life of luxury that she's living in. So where did one of the people in the chat is actually asked a question I was going to ask. Where did the name Mighty Lancer come from?
When he was a little boy.
Yeah, I plucked it out of the air, basically, because I wanted to call it something knight related, and I had this idea of using like a knight jousting on a horse, and then I don't know, it just kind of like struck. But really, I should have picked something shorter and punchier, because loads of people would just call us MLG.
And all the shop signs, how much each letter costs. Yeah. I've had 3 shops.
Yeah, so
it's kind of like the WWF when Hunter Helmsley first came out. Now you're just known as Triple H. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I do all the social media because he's at work doing all the work stuff. You just can't do both, and everything is social media. So I don't think most people realise when they're talking on social media, they're just talking to me. But I do all the social media, and I hadn't realised that MLG in America is like some gaming thing, and I get told off all the time for pretending to be this thing. I'm like, no, we're not there. We're here. This is just us. But like, no, you're not. It's like, sorry.
Yeah.
Hey ho.
Cool.
So
yeah, I don't know really. It just I plucked it out of the air, and then I'd like designed up the little logo, and then that was it. Just kind of came out of there really, and we thought the black and white looked cool.
And then we had to add red in because black and white doesn't really help across the board if you just stick to black and white. So we had to add some red in. So black, white, and red. Yeah,
that's it. Don't know. Yeah, I can't give you a better answer. I'm afraid it just popped in.
Like it's better than some of the stuff that you hear about. You could have made some amazing story about it, but just being genuine and saying, it was all right, Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's nothing more exciting than that, I'm afraid.
So with your store, I mean, like I said earlier, you're the second store that we've had on come to chat to us, and it's always really interesting getting this perspective of the retailer, the independent retailer, especially, I think, nowadays, because you do have some of the bigger companies that are out there with a couple of branches. You've got obviously a lot of big online companies as well. And I was really struck when I did go to your shop that, the ranges that you had in. You had obviously all the Games Workshop stuff, the Citadel paints. You got the Green Stuff World stuff in there. You got loads of different minis in there, even as far as the Hornby model railway section that you got, which I was blown away that you had it because it wasn't expecting to see it there. Is it real is it fair to say that it's a real labour of love that you're really sort of going to your community and saying, look, we will stock as much as we can for you on that basis? Or is it just you've looked at what you were interested yourself when you say this was a dream and thought, right, I'm going to sell this?
Yeah, so in a roundabout kind of way, it's a bit of all of that. So when we started, when we knew we were starting, because I used to have a job that involved me spending a lot of time on the road. So like Monday to Friday, I'd be away from home, staying in hotels, meetings all around the country, what have you. I spent a bit of that time traveling and going to different game stores wherever I was and seeing like what everybody had. So we were doing a little bit online, and I was like posting stuff out at the weekend and what have you when I got back home. But I kind of knew what I wanted, but I wanted to see how other people were doing it, how other stores were doing it. Excited that I've got ideas in my own mind about like what would be a good game shop. So I looked at like what other people were doing, and I like nicked a couple of ideas here and there. So
we're nothing but honest.
Yeah, what's the imitation's the greatest form of flattery or whatever it is. So I went to Warlord Games HQ store and saw that they were using IKEA like Kallaxes as the base for their gaming tables on casters. Yeah. And then I thought, that's a pretty good idea. So we did, like, when we opened the first shop, that was what we used as the base for our gaming table. So that's like
we could fit one in
7 years ago. Yeah, there was one 4x4 table that we could put a 6x4 on the top of, and that filled the shop. If there was like 4 people in playing a game, that was it. But so we did that and a couple of other bits and pieces. But seeing different ranges and then getting like customer feedback of like, what would you like to see? What would you like to see? So we started off with a few board games in the first shop, and we had like all the Reaper. So that was one of the first things that we sort of went big into, was Reaper minis and what have you. And then Games Workshop. So we, like, I don't know if you know how Games Workshop work, but when you sign up for an account with Games Workshop, you have to have like a certain rack of stuff. Yeah. So they sell you quite an expensive display, but that's supposedly their best sellers. And you have to have that before you can buy anything else. So we had that because that was all we had room for. And then we started getting like new releases in. And then eventually I got to the point where I just said, like, right, fine, let's just have everything that's on the order form. And, we'll figure out how we're going to pay for that later. And then you grow from there. But we knew we wanted that. And then we like, Fireforge makes some amazing plastic. So the Perrys make some like really awesome stuff, and
He just got stuff in that he likes.
Yeah,
and he likes a lot of stuff.
and then we had to have a bit of airfix because that's where I started making planes and what have you. And then the local model shop in town was kind of, I don't know, stagnating. And a lot of people kept coming into us and going, "Oh, we've noticed you've got some airfix and you've got some of this and some glue and what have you."
And we kept sending them back to the model shop.
Can you get this? Because he won't order it for me. So then, like, those few kits and bits of Hornby and everything else slowly turned into a room that's as big as our first shop. That's just full of like model kits and what have you. Someone came in the other day and told us he thought we were the best model shop on the East Coast. So, like, you know, I mean, that isn't even our primary focus. But...
And it makes him really happy.
Yeah.
Because that's why he does it. Like, he wants to provide these things for fellow gamers. So when someone comes and tells him something, he gets all giddy and excited, and he'll ring me. "Oh, this person's just come in and they've just said this," because like, that's just,
it's nice.
He loves it so much.
It's nice. Yeah. The only thing that's kind of limiting us really at the moment is we haven't got any more space to fit any stuff on the shop floor. So we, in the previous shop, we didn't have as much other range as we'd have now, but the shop was laid out different. It was kind of like long and narrow, and now all the gaming tables are upstairs. We have like the gaming area upstairs, so we've made more space that way, but we haven't got space to display all the blisters and figures and stuff. So like Reaper make somewhere in the region of about 4,000 metal figures. We have all those in stock, but we can't display them downstairs. So they're in a stock room like somewhere else in the building. But like, if it's, you know, 99% of the time, if it says it's in stock, we've got it. You know, it's somewhere in the building. That's the thing. It's just I like having lots of stuff.
We did contemplate, because the problem for us was we knew we needed a bigger shop because we didn't have enough room. So we made every decision that you make when you're just a little three family is quite difficult. So we made the difficult decision again that we would move to this bigger shop, and that would be the last move we'd ever do, and that would be big enough for everything that we needed. So we really worked because it was bad. It was in a really bad. Cause there is a video on YouTube or something. We knocked walls out. We ripped floors up. We ripped all the pipes out. And landlords, don't watch the video.
They're quite happy that we've like renovated their building for them.
We did absolutely everything. And then the day that we were supposed to open the doors for the first time was the day of lockdown. So we didn't get to open the doors.
Yeah. So we'd spent the week prior moving all of the stock and the fittings and everything else from the old shop while trying to stay open till the death for like customers that wanted to come in and play over the weekend and all the rest of it. And then we had like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday getting stuff up to the new shop. And then so Monday, I think it was Monday night, we just moved the last of the stuff in. I just locked the door and gone and sat in the car and watched the press conference. And we went like, all right, on Wednesday, nobody could open.
So we never got to open the doors. It just never happened. And then obviously everything really slowly came back, didn't it? So our gaming floor is the same size as the shop. So if you've been in the shop downstairs, the whole shop floor, the same size as the gaming floor. So that was just a big empty barren space with some tables because no one was allowed to come and play. And then it took a while. Obviously everybody was genuinely scared because, you know, this thing was horrible, to come back into store. So we had the discussion many a time as to whether we should just put more stock up there, because we've got enough stock to fill that again that isn't on the shop floor. But he wants the community. The whole point in opening the shop was to give the community somewhere to come and play. That was the whole point of the whole thing. Yeah. And the reason for moving and getting this bigger shop with a whole new floor is so that people can come and enjoy that noise and that roar and that meeting with your mates and playing your game. So if we just turned it into another shop, that wouldn't be fair. That'd be rubbish. So there's a whole gaming floor. Come play it.
And it's awesome, like the diversity that you get in the community as well. So we've got like folks who'll just come in and play a board game. We've got like several D&D groups. We've got folks that will come and play 40k, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. You know, there's all sorts of stuff.
And we only charge £1.
Yeah.
£1. Just to keep the lights on. You can come and play all day.
So anyone in the area, there you go. A quick to play a game, can't beat it.
Yeah, well, so like, we've heard people saying to us like, "Oh, you're too cheap," because they go some places and it's like some places charge a £5 an hour.
I do that.
That's absurd. I mean, like, I know you've got to keep the lights on, and inner city rents are more expensive and what have you. But
as a Scotsman, I'm proud that you're that cheap.
Yeah.
we just want people to come and play.
That was
the whole point. Like, you know, come play. And we have Pokemon clubs for the kids, and we have, like you say, Friday Night Magic and Warhammer and Blood Bowl and all sorts of stuff.
The good thing about the gaming floor, we've got enough space that we can seat like 30 odd players for Magic or Pokemon or whatever, and then we've still got like half a dozen tables 6x4 that people can come and play 40k or whatever on in the other part of the room. You know, it's a big enough area, so that's fine. And it's just, if nobody comes in, we leave the lights turned off in half of it. and don't turn the heaters on. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, because there's no heating.
Yeah.
It ain't got gas. There's no heating or hot water.
But I would rather be in the town centre where, like, people can come to the town and see, rather than like we've been on holiday where you go somewhere and you go, oh, there's got to be a game shop round here somewhere, and then you end up tracking out to an industrial estate and it's like a tiny little space and they've got like curtains up and all the stuff. That's not a game shop, is it? That's a warehouse. Anyway, I'm not going to besmirch anybody. That's you've got to do what you've got to do.
So when we move to an industrial estate, don't pick on us.
Yeah, we're not moving to an industrial estate. We're not moving to.
It's actually quite funny that you mentioned about going away and checking what's in the area, because I do it, and that's how I actually came across yourselves. And I will relate my story now that, you know, on the off chance that I was up in the area because I was staying in Skipsea. I went into your shop. You didn't have something, but I thought, I know what, I'll chance a message to you. And you ordered it, had it in stock by the day before I was leaving. So that, I think customer service wise for me, I haven't experienced something like that for donkeys. And it absolutely blew my mind away that you were able to do that for us. And
we try. So long as the suppliers get it in stock, we can, we'll get it. That's
we're very trying.
Yeah. It's that was one of the things that, like, this local model shop, like, so a lot of small stores, they won't order things for customers because they're like, oh, I've got to spend like 300 quid or whatever with a supplier to get an order in, but there's always stuff you need. So why not, like, if you come in and you, I don't know, like, whatever it is, but like you come in and you say, oh, I need like 5 cans of matte black spray or whatever, you go like, well, I probably need some more of that, so I'll just order like I'll order a few extra bits.
The only thing you can't do that with is Games Workshop, because you're only allowed to order on a certain day, and they have to ring you. We can't just ring them and ask for something. We're not allowed.
Yeah.
So that's rubbish.
It's, that can be a bit frustrating, but, and we're
I mean, you're quite active, like, on the socials. Like, obviously you don't have as big a following as what probably you would like on Instagram, but like, I was on your Twitch last night, and hats off to your wee robot for absolutely trolling me last night, because when I came into your chat, I said, oh, Duncan, how you doing? I've not seen you in ages, and I thought it was somebody from another Twitch group I was in Discord, and I was chatting away to this bloody bot. I was pure raging. Told where I bought in my deathbed when I had man flu. I thought I'd seen it all. But I must say, like, your Twitch last night was absolutely fantastic. How long have you been doing your Twitch for?
Yeah, well, so Twitch, we've been on Twitch for 3 years, right?
Which is nuts.
And it's really hard to gain following, unless you're doing something, if you haven't got big boobs and you're not playing Minecraft, it's really tough, I think. But I'm
family friendly, Dan.
Yeah. So I get such a small amount of time to do some hobby in the week that really, like, when we're streaming, if we weren't streaming, if, like, we didn't have to say, like, well, we've got like this time on a Monday and this time on a Tuesday, we're going to stream like for an hour or whatever, then if we didn't do that, I probably wouldn't get any hobby done in the week.
It's the only time he gets to paint.
Because otherwise there'd be something else I need to do, like do some invoicing or you know, whatever, other stuff. So it's fine. We only have like, we've got 10 people that regularly come and watch us or whatever it is. It's fine. I can cope with it because I get to do some stuff and just chat to people who are like remote from the store. So the people that come and can engage with us on Twitch and what have you are generally folks who use us because they're customers, but they live miles and miles away. So like London or, you know,
Texas.
Yeah, Glasgow.
Got a really cool guy from
Texas or whatever. And, you know, it gives us an opportunity to speak to them. And
the Discord does as well. More always. This one's not because he's at work. Yeah. But I work from home. So I have 2 screens. So I have the screen that I'm adding stock and doing stuff, and then the screen with Discord on. So we're always in Discord. The Discord community is lovely. And we do like painting incentives and challenges and things like that, and everyone shares off their games and their painting, and it's just friendly, which apparently is quite rare for Discord. But ours is. So we do really well not having any mean.
I'll need to join your Discord later. I meant to join it last night, but after being emotionally abused by that stupid bot yesterday, I just didn't try. I thought the Matrix was coming to get me yesterday. I couldn't believe it. I was asking your bot, are you such and such from such and such's stream? And then somebody went, no, that's actually just our bot chat. And I was like, oh man. No.
I saw okay. I thought, oh, we hadn't realised it's just a pet. We're feeding it and stuff in chat. Don't worry about it.
It wasn't until you actually gave it some water I realised I was being trolled. So at 40, and I like to pride myself that I'm quite technology savvy, but yeah, I can't tell my 17-year-old son that because he'll absolutely destroy me.
But I mean,
he'll probably watch it back.
In your defence, it was talking to you.
Yeah, it was answering my questions. And I was like, oh, nah. So obviously you were doing a wee bit of painting on Twitch last night, which is always great to see. And obviously, Mr. MLG, you've been doing the hobby in the last 8 years, so you've always seen a big improvement in paint. What is your preferred brand of paint that you're using right now?
All sorts. So I have on my desk here next to us.
No one can see what.
No, but like I only use contrast paint from GW. Don't really use anything else. So contrast, got Vallejo, like the newer Vallejo game colour and stuff is great, but I use a lot of model colour stuff. Green Stuff Worlds, acrylics are great. Reaper's paints are fantastic. And then the 2 thin coat stuff's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't like the bottle design, but the paint's good.
2 thin coats Dragon Gold, really good, wonderfully smooth, and a great coverage. Yes. But the bottle designs are terrible.
Yeah, the dropper is shocking.
So, I don't know if you can see it, but that's what it looks like every time you take the lid off.
Yeah, every single one that we've used is like that. It just dribbles out the end.
Weird.
Rubbish.
Hey, what's that all about?
Yeah, the paint's great. Bottles, pants.
There's just so much paint out there. Like I know Roll Hobby, she's now launching our own brand of paint. It just gets to a point where you just go, right, I'm actually using some Green Stuff World paints just now as well, and you're just thinking, right, at what point do we just pick a paint and just stick with it? You know what I mean? It just seems to be oversaturated just now.
Yeah, well, I guess that's why I've ended up using bits of all sorts. So I started, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago, I ditched all of my old Citadel stuff and bought a full set of Army Painter paints at a Wargames show. I thought, like, I'm just going to sack this off. And I got, like, it was kind of like a bundle deal. They wanted a pre-made set or whatever before we'd started the shop. So I bought a whole load of paints and then got so many new brushes and everything and thought, like, I'm just going to sack everything off and start again. But I don't use any of the Army Painter stuff now. I don't know what the new Fnatic stuff's like because we haven't got any of that in yet. And we will try it when it comes. But I would imagine, my guess is that it's going to be very similar to like Green Stuff World Max formula and the new game colour stuff, because they're all much of a muchness. They can't change that dramatically, can they? Game colour and the Green Stuff World paints are really good for vibrant colours. Model colours great if you're painting something historical or you want to get like a matte green on something. But we just use everything, don't we? We have
favourite colours in different ranges. But when I first started painting, because obviously I didn't paint at all, so then I just used his paints. So I started with Army Painter as well, and I thought that they were great because I never used anything else. And now they're just in that cupboard over there, and we don't touch them. No. It's really weird.
I find
they're too thick
compared to some of the others. They're either really thick or they're really thin, split, like horrible. You've got to shake them for ages. So we've got a vortex mixer, but like
I broke it.
Don't really make any difference.
But I use Reaper mainly. Reaper, I really like Reaper.
Yeah, Reaper's paints are great.
But I tend to get stuff that's got a broken lid or something from the shop. So that's my paint.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of ranges, haven't we? In that we stock in the shop, and people ask us for different stuff all the time. So we've been asked for AK paints, but we haven't got space to put them in.
And we don't like their morals.
So we won't go into that.
No.
But
so we're not having them.
Yeah, we won't go into that. But like AK, they're like pretty popular, I understand, for like weathering stuff and what have you. But Vallejo do loads of weathering compounds and powders and all sorts of other stuff. So the Green Stuff World.
You've got Citadel, Humbrol, Two Thin Coats, Tamiya, Vallejo, Reaper, Army Painter, Green Stuff World, and I'm sure there's another one. I think we've got enough for Dark Star. Yeah, they're good. Metal paints.
Yeah, Dark Star are great.
So that I think if somebody needs some paint, they'll be able to find it.
Yeah, it's just and we do use bits of all sorts, apart from Tamiya, because I don't want to have to thin stuff with alcohol, or wash my brushes with alcohol.
But we have got.
But I've used it in the past. But yeah, we use bits of all sorts.
And you really like the Rosemary and Co brushes?
Yes. Yeah, I would heartily suggest anybody who wants to buy a paintbrush buys a Rosemary and Co brush instead of buying like GW brushes or Army Painter brushes. So the Army Painter brushes used to be great, didn't they? They're like the white handle, the triangular handle, and we sell them. And but if anybody comes in the shop and they go to buy a paintbrush or ask for advice, I always point them towards the Rosemary and Co ones, because they're made in Yorkshire and they're really good quality. And from what I've been told, lots of other companies' brushes are just Rosemary's brushes with different branding.
Yeah.
So.
And I use Humbrol, the Humbrol green colour brushes. If you don't really want to quite go to Rosemary, if you just started out like me.
So you could buy a Humbrol Coloro brush where they're £1.50 a paintbrush, and they're great.
And I paint everything with theirs. But don't look up my painting, because you might go, we can tell.
Yeah. But, So Artist Opus and Winsor and Newton Series 7s and all of these other things. But
get Rosemary and Co.
A Rosemary and Co Series 33 is like £7 and blows them all out of the water.
Actually, funny you said Rosemary and Co brush, because when I was in there, I actually picked one up off you. So there you go. And you know what?
I do a couple of ranges that have got the chunkier handles. So if you've got like
mobility problems,
sticky hands and what have you, like you know what I mean, don't you? Like you find mobility a little bit different. They've got a couple of different types of handle that make it very easy, and you can still have a synthetic or a sable tip with that bigger brush, and it's half the price of an Army Painter one. So they're great.
I use Alpine brushes. They're quite decent.
What are they, say?
Alpine, some German company, I think. They're quite decent.
Nice.
There we go.
Just thought I'd throw that in there randomly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cool. I won something at a raffle at a show that were from an independent company, and I've never used them, have we? They had a name that began with an A. Yeah. Don't know. Went to a war game show, and I put some prizes in and bought some tickets because it was for a good cause, and then ended up winning like 3 prizes.
Oh, what an inconvenience! Oh dear.
Because I'm a gamer and I need to add stuff to the pile that I'm never going to do anything with.
Yeah.
So what obviously talking about your socials as well, what really struck me when, after being in the shop and discovering your online profile, was your YouTube. And the amount of stuff you've got on there is, you know what, it's amazing. I think it's really good.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
No, you're right. So I thought it was really good, but what really struck me the most was your honesty with everything on there. You know, because myself and Dunk here, we always say it doesn't matter what sort of stuff you put out there, as long as you're 100% honest. Because I would rather someone isn't selling me this idea that, oh, look, buy this box of minis and it's great. And then when I get a hold of it, I can't stick them together and I end up gluing them to my hands and stuff. And I think it was the Beastmen video that just went on maybe in the last 24 hours where...
I thought you might.
But it really sort of stuck out to me that it is an honest review. It is something that, you know, people don't think about. You know, even down to the bit where it's an older kit and they don't produce part of it anymore. Do you feel that being that honest with your stuff is part of what makes you guys? Because, you know, you don't want to be selling something to someone that's not going to work how they want it, or, you know, be what they want it to end up as.
Yeah, and I guess that's the same. If anybody comes in the shop and asks me for advice, I can't lie to them for the sake of getting a sale. That's not me. So a bit like recommending somebody buys a Rosemary paintbrush. You know, you can spend half the money and get a better brush. As much as I'd like to sell you a 10 quid Army Painter Masterclass brush, whatever, you could buy this and it's better for half the price. Or if you just want something for base coating your minis, buy a £1.50 Coloro brush, because this is going to do the same thing. And talking about honest experiences with suppliers and all the other things that you might have seen on YouTube. I thought you were going to talk about mentioned some of our other terrible YouTube videos, but
they're all terrible.
But yeah, talking about that and trying to be honest and open about how, you know, how the relationship works with various suppliers and all that kind of thing. Yeah, like when you look on social media and you look on Facebook and whatever, there's so much garbage that people put on about, Games Workshop, they're not like supplying anybody because, you know, they just want to keep everything for themselves and make the maximum amount of profit. But it isn't that. They haven't got the boxes, or their warehouse is crap, or whatever, like, the real reason is. But people come up with all these little things. It's not like I want to defend them all the time, because they shiv us over as much as they do everybody else. But I would rather deal in facts than, like...
I think I get what you're saying, because, like, I know, like, there's some big YouTubers out there within the 40k universe who will swag off Games Workshop for, as you say, not having enough in stock to give people. But then you'll find another 8 or 9 people jumping on that bandwagon just to get views on their YouTube channel. And to a slight diversion away from that, I think that's why we started this Inquisition. We wanted, obviously we've had a few of the big names on, and we'll continue to try and get some big name people on. The likes, so we've had Graham McNeil, Duncan Rose and Peachy, we've had Chris Tester. We want to hear more about the smaller person, the person that has only picked up the hobby in the last year, 2 years, or who left it and then came back in 15 years. So we're not in it just for the views. Obviously they help us grow as a channel, and they help you grow as a channel as well. But it's more just that hearing that person's journey and hearing their story, which is why we're doing what we're doing, and bringing new people on to hear your story and where you've came from working corporate jobs or whatever you did, to Mrs. MLG retiring at 25, to then opening up a shop in a university. It's a story that I want to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Just going back to what you were saying about us being in a seaside town, when I speak to other store owners and they go like, well, you know, what's your area like? And they're all talking about like the university, and it's really tough when folks go home for Freshers Week or whatever it is and all the rest of it. Like, well, half of our catchment area is C, so
But we've done the YouTube for as long as we've been open, and there is a hell of a lot on there. But we don't make any money from YouTube because we don't do the big, like you say, they don't do the clickbaity things.
We've tried it, it still doesn't make any difference.
We haven't tried it. Jumping on the bandwagon of like just doing, we just try and, this is what's happening. We unboxed this and we thought it was cool. This is a bit rubbish. Or like I use hand gel to clean my brushes, because obviously my brushes are Humbrol brushes, they're not Rosemary Care brushes, and it's really good. So
we had Mike Moans. We had Mike Moans, and we had Mike Moans on, who's another Twitcher, another guy who does Twitch every day, 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and he does like a lot of Dungeons and Dragons stuff. He does a lot of commission paints, and he said that in his stream. And when I brought him on here, I was saying, is it true that you use hand sanitizer gel that we all used in COVID to keep COVID away, to clean your brushes? Yeah. And he's like, yeah. And then he did a demonstration of it on, and he's like, it's the best thing you can use to clean your brushes.
Yeah, I did a little YouTube video to show people, but like I say, we could sell them some brush cleaner, but like, hand gel's really good. So here's a YouTube video showing you how the thing that you've just got in your drawer that we've all got thousands of now.
And all the shops are trying to sell it for 20p.
Like 20p, and just pick it up. I mean, it's here. This is my painting desk. What do you think? So we do our YouTube videos are things like that, or like crackle paint, showing you the difference if you just put the crackle paint straight on, or if you put it over the top of PVA, or if you put it over the top of varnish, and the different just information that might help a hobbyist and a new hobbyist, because obviously we ain't professionals. We're not going to pretend to be Golden Demon. We're tabletop like painters. So stuff that can help people to start off with, and that kind of aim doesn't bring in the big bucks from YouTube, but that's not really what we're doing it for. We're doing it to help the community, and that's what we do everything for. Really, because we like the gamey people, because he is one.
Yeah, that's it. Bought a 5-litre thing from the pound shop the other day for like £2.99.
Hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer to make sure we had enough brush cleaner to last us before places stop selling it.
we must look really silly. Like some chocolate and a massive, great big jug of hand sanitizer. Oh my God!
As long as they didn't ask any questions, you're all right. That's the main thing.
And for a good weekend, folks. Yeah, I've got hand sanitizer, cream, and chocolates. It's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah, we're a bit dodgy, you know. But that's why he'll always try and say the truth. So if, like in the past videos, if Games Workshop are withholding something and we're not going to get it, then we're going to tell you, because you want it. So if we don't tell you what's happening, how are you supposed to? You just sat there waiting for this thing. Or if it has come in, you can hold it up and go, look, it's here. It's actually here. Yeah. Or whatever. Because if he had ordered it from somewhere, he would want to know what was going on. So why would we not tell you?
The worst situation with that was, I think it was Soul Shackle, one of the Kill Team sets last year. So we'd ordered like 50 copies or whatever, and we'd basically pre-sold every single one. And then GW didn't deliver it, and then didn't tell us why. And then it was a nightmare trying to get hold of a manager at Games Workshop. It was like really tough because the sales team are trained to deflect everybody. So eventually I managed to get a phone call from somebody, supposedly a manager at GW, who listened to me ranting at him for 45 minutes. And then, don't know, we seemed to get miraculously better service for like 2 months.
Yeah, it didn't last forever.
And then, but I don't know.
Isn't it strange how life works like that sometimes, eh?
Yeah.
But it's like, because my mate Jeff, I had to tell him off, didn't I?
Yeah. So we sell through the website, and we sell on eBay, and we sell on Amazon, because you've got to cast a net of like, you know, just, it's not a case of like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. You can't just put a website up and expect that people are going to come and make you millionaires overnight. You've got to drive traffic to it. So we sell on eBay and we sell on Amazon, but we
It's cheaper to come straight to the website.
Yeah, it's always going to be cheaper to come straight to the website because we price things to pay Jeff and whoever else, Elon, they're cut out of the situation. But yeah, Amazon just like a couple of years ago just decided that people couldn't sell stuff if it was classed as a toy or a game in the run up to Christmas.
So they just switched the switch and switched our store off. Oh, thanks.
But they've since COVID, they've taken those restrictions away. So I was like, that's fine. But yeah,
no fun for you.
Yeah, it's but we don't make loads of money out of the thing. We don't shift as many units of Space Marines and everything as some other retailers out there. But I guess we're happy, aren't we, my darling?
He's happy. That's what we're doing for. He wasn't happy in his proper job that paid money for us to eat more than beans. He wasn't happy. And you only have this one little life, don't you? So
yeah.
So now he's happy.
It's fine.
And occasionally he gets to play a game.
Yeah, tomorrow night I'm playing in Blood Bowl.
Oh yeah, the Blood Bowl tournament at the shop.
Yeah.
What are you playing?
Skaven tomorrow.
Oh, the ones that I've played.
Yeah. Got my we've got a sevens league kicking off this week in store. So
I think that's actually moved quite nicely onto something else I was going to ask with respect to your tables. You're hosting all these different games. Do you do your tournaments? Do you do like I suppose with Blood Bowl, the league games? Do you have where you've got your core community? Are you sort of how much are you engaging them in coming in and playing games with you all the time and sort of really using yourself as a centre for people?
Yeah. So try and encourage as many people to come in and play games as possible. And if that means I'm playing games with several different people for the next however many weeks, because we get a lot of folks that don't want to talk to anybody. That's the thing. This hobby attracts, what's the right word? Insular people who don't want to talk to other people. So once you've kind of made a little breakthrough into getting somebody to talk about their hobby themselves, and then they start opening up, and then you maybe I'll play a game with somebody if it's their first time in the store, or get one of the regulars that they might have seen, so I can introduce them to one of the the locals, and then we'll get them on moving around playing a few other different people. And some folks you could just kind of go it's here, and they'll walk into the room and there'll be 30 other people in there playing games, and they'll just be oh great, I'll just go talk to these guys because they look cool. And some people you have to kind of go just come over here and talk to Rio and Alex and whoever else at the table, and these guys are playing what you're interested in. I'll leave you with them. Come grab me if you need me.
And all the gaming tables, obviously, we've got tons and tons of scenery and mats and everything that people can just use. And we've also got cabinets with miniatures in that people can use. So we got donated recently as well some D&D minis, so that if the D&D groups needed some monsters and stuff, there's just some in the cabinet.
Yeah, we've got loads of painted stuff and 40k armies.
And then there's the demo shelf that has all the board games on. So say a family was on holiday and it's chucking it down and it's Brid and there's nothing to do, they can come and play a board game inside for, like I said, it's £1, and there's a whole demonstration shelf of board games that you can just play all afternoon and keep the kids entertained or whatever. Or if you just got a mate over, and we sell chocolates and crisps and stuff, but
we don't mind people getting their own food in. Quite often on a Thursday night, games night, we have takeaway. We have curry delivered.
Yeah, and, all the local takeaways know where we are.
So our curry order is getting larger and larger. I need to take some more plates down.
Yeah, we're running out of plates.
Because when it comes in and people see us all tucking into our curry and rice, they go I could have some of that. I could have some of that next week.
But that's part of it as well. So as he's playing games and he wants something to eat, I think that's just part of the community. We just
get everybody involved.
Just if you're doing an order, what do you want and stuff, and then everyone can stop, have something to eat, and then carry on playing. It'd be rubbish if you went somewhere and you're really hungry and they're like, oh no, you're not allowed to eat on the gaming floor. Like, well, I don't want to go home and have to come back again. I mean, obviously, don't chuck rice all over minis, but you've got, it's the whole point is to have fun gaming. Isn't that the point?
Absolutely.
Of life.
Yeah. So last Thursday, I think I played Gorkamorka with one of our customers, which is a favourite. I've been playing that since it came out at I think Games Day '97. It's good game. And then Blood Bowl. We just started Blood Bowl 7s. Got like 40k later in the month. A lot of old world getting played at the moment.
I actually bought Underworld there during the week.
Oh yeah.
And I voucher and works on the week. I might bash this out and bully my son into playing it with me.
It's a decent game, Underworld. I think I've lost every single game I've played, but of it. The last game I had, I played with the Chaos Kagra's Ravagers, I think they're called. So it's like 4 Chaos guys, and played against the Vampires and got absolutely smashed. Absolutely smashed. And the Dwarves are horrific to play against as well. The Chosen Axes. I think are they one of the ones that are getting re-released? I can't remember.
I don't know who is asking.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. There's some stuff on pre-order this week that's Underworlds related.
Oh. So we'll come back to the snacks. We will be coming back to the snacks because we do have a snack-themed set of questions which Dunk likes to ask. So after this question, we'll move on to those. But something where you sort of obviously saying your longevity in the hobby and all the different games that you've played, something I picked up on your account quite a lot was Mordheim, because Mordheim for me is one of my absolute loves. I think it's a brilliant game. How have you found where the old fantasy stuff sort of died off and they've released all these different skirmish games that keeping interest in stuff like Gorkamorka, Mordheim, Necromunda, especially some of the older stuff when it wasn't about so much? How have you found keeping the interest there? Is it just that you've constantly got a table set up for it and you're like, play this when people walk through the door? Or
No. So we've got terrain that's perfect for it, but it's some of those games are things that some of our like I won't say core customers, but like most regular gamers in the shop, they're of a similar age with me and they remember it from the first time round. So it only takes for a couple of us to be having a conversation going like, oh, do you know, I haven't played Mordheim for like 20 years or whatever. We should have a go, because everyone's got a rule book on the shelf from when it first came out, or you can get a PDF online or whatever. So let's have a go at that, because we've got some buildings and we'll thrash some stuff together and then we'll like end up building some more stuff. And soon 2 of us playing Mordheim and having like a bit of a revival game, other people go over and go, what's this? That looks really cool. The scenery looks great. What are these models on square bases? What's going on here? And then it grows and grows. So I think at one point, I think it might be like last September, because we kind of we stopped Mordheim in September so we could start Gorkamorka in October last year. But in one night in the store, we had like 12 or 14 players playing Mordheim. There's like folks playing 40k over the other side of the room, whatever, and there was just like 4 or 5 tables all set up with Mordheim terrain and just having our own little mini campaign in the store with a game that's 20 years old. It was fantastic. But we try and run Gorkamorka at least once a year. Try and have like a little campaign go. We normally start. We've got some big race gantries that are 3D printed. From found some files from some Gaslands one and scaled them up like massive. So we have big start and finish. So we have a big race. So everybody can, like, if new people want to get involved, we give them a little bit of notice. But then we have a big race at the start, so everybody can get a handle on how the rules work for vehicles and shooting and stuff. Loads of crashes, loads of explosions. It's just good fun. And then break out into like smaller games over the next few weeks and like this. But the other games, like Warcry, these other skirmish things, Warcry, Kill Team, and Underworlds, the models that they're producing for those are fantastic, and you can shoehorn them into most of the other games that you like. They're just
Definitely.
I love the one piece, like the one sculpt. I hate having duplicates of models. So the Underworld stuff and the Warcry stuff, that you can have 10 figures that are all individual, are perfect for any kind of skirmish game where you don't want a duplicate of a model.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever asked you to play Battle Masters?
Battle Masters. Is that like the MBE thing that was from like years and years ago? That was like the because they were Citadel sculpts, I think.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Like really old plastics. I don't think I ever got to play it actually, because I was already playing Fantasy Battle at that point. So it was kind of like yeah. I've got some Empire Knights rather than using like these.
I love
Was
Battle
it three or four figures on a stand, wasn't it? And they had like little flags at the back. Is that the thing?
The map was huge. It was big. It was like as big as a Sabutio map. You had to play. It basically took up my entire bedroom floor. Yeah. I think I'm also the only person that actually owns it in the UK. Everybody remembers it, but I think I've still got the figures. And used to have this castle that used to build like a kind of fort, and you had like a artillery piece and like knights and all that.
I remember. I think, if I remember rightly, I'm pretty sure that came out about the same sort of time that GW floated on the stock market. Because I remember reading an article that might have been in White Dwarf, and asking my dad if he thought that we should buy some shares when Games Workshop went on the thing, and he went like, "Oh, I don't think that's ever going to take off, is it?" And they were like, I think they went like about £2 or something like that.
No,
I don't think that's ever going to take off. They were like 120 quid last year. Oh well.
So, now that you mentioned snacks, but I'm a larger gentleman. I like the occasional crisp. What would be your crisp of choice that you munch on?
You really like
that's
Doritos.
That's for both of you, yeah.
We like Doritos, but then we're really cheap. So I also like Aldi own ridged ready salted, rather than what they really call Seabrooks.
McCoy's.
McCoy's, because we like McCoy's, but then we buy the Aldi own.
I really like pickled onion Monster Munch.
Yeah, you've got some, haven't you?
So, and I like it for ages. But the other day I was in Aldi. Other supermarkets are available, but I was in Aldi, and in the middle bit where they have all the trash down the thing was a multi-pack of Monster Munch that was so cheap I couldn't afford not to buy it. So
they're in the cupboard now.
So I've been able to relive my Monster Munch excitement. But yeah, chipsticks, salt and vinegar chipsticks. I love them.
Oh, they're banging. See, living in Donegal and Ireland now, right? I missed tomato ketchup, Golden Wonder. They were brilliant, man. I love them.
I remember that. But he really likes flavoursome food. Yeah. He likes spicy food and stuff with flavour, and I don't like food, which is why I'm large as well, because I just eat junk. So I don't like things that have, like you put onions and tomatoes and stuff in a dish to make it taste nice. Well, I don't like those things. Don't like tomatoes or onions or stuff that makes food taste nice. So I have boring crisps because I don't like food, whereas you're a bit more adventurous, aren't you? But yeah, you've got some chipsticks in the cupboard.
Yeah, chipsticks, and
they're probably just mush now because they've been battered about a bit.
Yeah. Do you remember discos?
Oh, they were. Yeah, you still get them in Ireland. They're absolutely terrible.
They're just like, I don't know how to describe them. They were just like little round, salty discs of horribleness.
Yeah, they were like flying saucers without the sherbet in them. That's what they are.
That's it. Yeah.
You had some skips not so long ago.
Oh yeah. Prawn cocktail flavour skips. Anything like that's a bit weird, and definitely does not contain any prawn or any cocktail.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say to Bex a bit. It depends what Tato you're talking about. It's either the Northern Tato or the Republic Tato, because we established that last week. They're two different companies. And as we were discussing about 2 weeks ago with Inferno Miniatures, he likes to have quavers and sour cream in a sandwich. How disgusting is that?
No, grim. That's really disgusting.
I mean,
Why haven't
I mean,
you? No,
so it could be a taste sensation, but I'm not going to try it.
no, I'm not.
Nobody's trying that apart from you're not standing by that, Inferno. Now, when you're washing down your choice of crisps, which are pretty banging crisps, you're getting 10 out of 10 for the crisps, would you be Pepsi people or Coca-Cola people?
Aldi.
X.
It's called X.
That's like the Aldi is Pepsi Max. That is pretty good. And the fake Aldi Lout is pretty good as well.
Yes,
Tropical.
it is. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I do like the Aldi Lout. But I stopped drinking full sugar Coke because I've decided that I prefer the taste of Coke Zero. And it's not about not having the sugar. It's just I think it tastes better.
Well, my wife's diabetic, so we pretty much are a sugar-free house anyway. So it's usually a treat if I can get a full-fat Coke, or the wife is having a hypo, but usually it's a treat.
That'd be better, surely. That's the option you want, a treat.
Yeah.
Just
I know. Yeah, probably Pepsi. I think it's Pepsi over Coke, isn't it?
You can get Pepsi in more places around here, though. So if you go to the bar in like Wetherspoons and you say, "Can I have a Coke?" They'll go, "It's Pepsi." Is that all right? So you ain't got any choice.
No. And what is good is you can have cherry Pepsi.
Oh no!
I don't mind that.
Now.
I don't mind that.
He's on your side.
And,
That's a war crime.
No, I like it. And if you go to a Pizza Hut, when they have like the drink dispenser thing, you can have lime flavored cherry, flavored. It's really nice.
You pushed it too far, and I just like to say thanks very much for joining us, folks. It's been an absolute pleasure. Don't follow them, folks. Unfollow them now. Like, come on, you're pushing it there, Mr. MLG. I know this is all about you, but I'm going to put you in the same category as Inferno Miniatures here. You're verging on getting kicked out.
What have you got there? What are you drinking now?
What's it called? Black Heart.
I thought you were.
See, I've got Aldi and Coke in a Guinness glass.
Yeah, and I've got Brewdog Stout. So
I actually thought you were drinking Guinness there for a split second. So
it's his Guinness glass, but it's just got Coke in it because I don't drink.
Yeah, we haven't got any Guinness, but I have got some Brewdog Black Heart, so that's what we're drinking. Which might as well be Guinness, but slightly smoother.
I do like a bishop's finger. No euphemism. It is quite a nice red.
I like bishop's finger. Bishop's finger's quite nice. Bishop's finger's quite nice. Do like that.
And my final question.
Hobgoblin as well. Hobgoblin beers, nice.
And my final question on the food and drink round. This is going to turn into a musical question now, right? I absolutely hate the Beatles, right? Can't stand them. They're one of the most overrated bands. Like, take that. Not as good as the Saturdays, which are a banging band. Where do you stand on the Beatles? Are you a fan of the Beatles, or do you hate the Beatles?
No, I'm not a fan at all. Overrated.
Yeah.
I don't know about this one. Do you like the Beatles? Take them or leave them.
Take them or leave them. Yeah, it's just
I don't get it. Like you.
Not bothered.
You hear the songs and I just don't understand the hype. But it's nice if you like that, then crack on. But I don't want to listen to it. Thanks very much.
No. Yeah, I think I listened to it far too much when I was in the car with my parents when I was a kid.
Have you been oversaturated?
So, I'm not bothered.
Bothered. We had Queen. That's
Maybe a bit of Freddie.
So I like Queen.
Yeah.
So we didn't have Beatles on, and I just don't get it. Our daughter's best friends, her dad is, ridiculously into the Beatles, and he always tries to talk to us about it. And I don't want to upset him by saying they're rubbish, but I try and well, let's not get into this debate because you're not going to like my side.
I would just point your daughter's best friend's dad to this video, and then he'll find out your true feelings.
That's it.
Yeah.
So going back now to your store and everything, given that how you've grown over the years, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you see yourself growing still? Or are you just really limiting yourself as this is our shop, this is what we're staying with now?
Well, no, because we got some new manufacturers in just last week, so it doesn't seem to be slowing down.
No,
we've got no room for them either.
Yeah, I won't say we don't have a plan.
We don't have,
but we don't. Yeah, we don't really have that much a plan. I guess it would be nice to be able to grow the business. It would be lovely to be able to open another store somewhere else, but that isn't realistically, I don't think, going to happen.
There's no, I don't think that's not gonna happen.
It's just, it would be great to kind of like bring the MLG community like into another town or city or whatever, somewhere else as well. But there's a lot of things going on with that. But I'd just like to carry on doing what we're good at and maybe try and do it a bit better.
Yeah.
And as we phase out stuff that's kind of like out of fashion, so nobody's playing Star Wars Legion like locally anymore. That seems to have like gone by the wayside and stuff like that. So as we phase out old ranges,
but we can still order in for people, but we can't have the space on the shop floor when nobody wants it in the area.
So we're kind of like phasing stuff out so we can bring in new stuff all the time and whatever. It's just the challenge, as I've said before, is maximizing the space that we've got for as much stuff as possible. So I guess we carry on doing that. And if Costa ever go out of business, we'll take that over next time.
No, we're not. For example, we have to diversify. So when we first opened, it was Games Workshop and Reaper and those kind of things. But now the shop sells books, so we sell fiction books, and we sell comics, and we sell gifts and things to give other avenues for revenues come in, because every bit that comes in goes back into the shop.
Yeah.
So if we just stayed and never changed with the times, then we would be lost. So and also everything that we have is this one's passion. So he always wanted a comic shop as well. So now we've got comics. It's got too many hobbies. That's what it is.
I like having stuff.
He does like having stuff, shiny stuff. Ooh, look at the new stuff. Yeah, but you've had to curb your comics because you were ordering things that you really like Vampirilla and lots of covers of scantily clad ladies, and that doesn't sell very well in the shop. So you've had to, think just because you like it, maybe don't get 40 of those.
It's always tough when you're starting with something that you don't have previous knowledge of selling, whatever.
Yeah, because you only like the comics that you like, but
yeah.
So
I know that I really like Batman and Captain America, but starting with a new range and you don't know, a bit like the Hornby stuff that you mentioned earlier on. So like, if I spoke to a chap today who came in and asked if we were like still stocking a lot of Hornby trains and things, and because we used to have quite a few trains and carriages and other bits and pieces, but it's really tough because Hornby do a range where they might do the same carriage in like 30 different liveries.
Yeah.
And we don't have the space to stock all of that. So we've got to like have a little selection so people know that it's available. But then at the end of the day, you've got to give them a catalogue and say, you tell me what you want and I'll order it for you and it'll be here in a week. But I can't just run upstairs and get you a Class 5 in like LNER 1988 livery. Thank you very much, Mr. Customer. There we but that it isn't always possible. And the same with comics. So I know that I like Batman and I know that I like Captain America, but you might not like Batman. So I've ordered 30 different Batman comics because there's so many available, and then they end up like getting rotated off shelf space for something else that, My Little Pony comics seem to sell pretty well.
Yep.
Who would have thought it? My Little Pony is a great IP, by the way. I think somebody should do a proper miniatures game about My Little Pony, because it's fantastic family adventures.
Yeah, because one's a wizard and one's a whatever. They're all based around.
I would rather have had a Gummy Bears miniature game. That would have been pretty good.
Yeah, and Transformers. I think we should. Transformers could be a great miniature game.
Yeah.
But WizKids that they make the D&D minis and what have you, they did some My Little Pony and Transformers WizKids unpainted minis that you could get, but you could only get them in the States because the licensing that they'd got for them would only let them sell them in the US.
So we couldn't have them.
Which was horrendous because I really wanted an Optimus Prime.
And he didn't get one. But he's got enough stuff. We've got Crooked Dice in recently. They make awesome cult TV minis.
Yeah.
That really, really aren't Ghostbusters, but
Mutant
they definitely could be, and stuff like that. Yeah. And they're really cool.
Yeah.
Because again, he'd got some for himself.
Thundercats.
He got some. No, they're not though. They're not Thundercats.
They're Beastmen heroes.
Beastmen heroes that he got for himself that he wanted to paint. And then I said, well, why don't we just sell them?
Yeah.
So we are.
So we got in touch with Crooked Dice and got a load of
stuff.
But
we really like to have, I suppose a bit like yourselves, we really like to have the big names. Obviously, they're awesome. But we have Bad Squiddo, and we have Northumbrian Tin Soldier, and we have Oakbound, and we have Crooked Dice, and all the littler miniatures, because they're so unique and individual, and there's something for everybody across those ranges that you might not really be able to find in, say, WizKids and stuff. They've got such character built into them that we like to have all of those as well, but there's not a lot of space left now.
Your shop sounds like it's like an Aladdin's cave crossed with the Gremlins shop where the guy buys Gizmo. Have you got a Gizmo for sale? Or you don't sell them, but somebody else is selling?
Yeah.
The dog's called Gizmo. And we also sell Christmas decorations with proper Gizmo on, and Crooked Dice do their own Gizmo. So lots of Gizmos in the shop. It's coming now. I can hear his paws.
You said the name enough, yeah.
So I like to think that if you came in the shop, every time you came in, you'd see something different, because there is so much stuff in there that you might walk past something, and then the next time you come in, you go oh, is that new? I'm like, oh no, it's just you might have missed it last time. But I think we've got somewhere in the region of 40,000 items, product lines across the shop,
which is good and bad, because when you walk in, it can be slightly overwhelming, but then equally there should be something that you want.
So we've got loads of RPG stuff. So we don't just do 5th edition D&D. We've got Pathfinder and The Walking Dead and Terminator and Lord of the Rings and loads, and they're just the big name kind of RPG systems. There's loads of independently published stuff and all sorts of other systems that we've got, and then different war games rules. So we've got the Osprey series and Frostgrave and all sorts of other stuff, as well as more independently published rule sets and what have you. We've got a local guy who's done his own, and he's published them himself basically, and it's such a labour of love for this guy that when you buy his set of rules for about £6 or whatever it is, you get a acetate sheet and a dry white marker in his little pack that he's done. So, you can mark off your damage things for your vehicles for his massively detailed World War II vehicle combat game that he's come up with himself. It's we're happy to try selling stuff for folks.
Yeah.
To create a better offering. It's not about earning loads of money out of people. And
we did. There was a fairly local. He's from a bigger city, but a fairly local author who'd written his first book not an RPG book, like a novel,
fantasy novel,
and he wanted to promote himself. So we got him down, and he did a book signing in the shop. And then people came and asked him about how you start writing and everything like that, and he did really well, and he was very happy, which was good, because I was really, really worried that nobody was going to come. And I was like, we're only little, please, I'm so sorry if nobody comes, but he did really well, and everybody loved it, and talking to him about how he'd come up with the stories and how he'd come up with this and that, and it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. And
that's how we feel about this podcast. Like we pray that we get viewers every week, and you know what I mean. But we also had a guy on last week, 2 weeks ago, called a guy who's making up his own game called Elements of Power. His game looked pretty savage. He was on there a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that it's been a labour of love to get the game to where it is, and with his partner, and he's getting married in like 3 weeks, and he's going to the convention in Birmingham in 3 weeks. What's the biggest argument that you used to have had about the shop?
Oh, we don't argue, because I'm right.
Yeah. It's just how long I resist admitting that I am wrong.
No, we don't tend to argue.
It'll be, I don't know, over silly things. Like, I think I've got more important things to do than.
You're getting that look. I would just stop it there. We'll change the question. Casey, ask him another question before he gets murdered live in stream.
So I'm conscious of the time a little bit.
Digs about, you said you were going to do that, and you haven't done it, and you haven't done it for 3 days. All right. Yeah. Let's do it now then.
Yeah, I nag. Like a customer would have emailed asking a question, and then he's not answered them, and it's the next day. So I nag him. That's what happens in our house. It's not arguments. It's me just going, "You've not answered John yet. Why have you not done that?" And he's like, "Well, because I answered the 30,000 other people." Yes, but you haven't answered this one man. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Cool. So something on the top of my mind there, given how much of a product range you've got and that you're rotating stuff around, would you not just consider doing an Argos and having your own catalogue and saying, we've got this, and someone could just walk in and flick through the book and think, oh, you've got a ton of them, I'll have some of them.
That's what the website is.
Yeah, that's what the website's there for. So you can go on the website and you can buy whatever you like and have it collect from store. So you can walk in and go like, right, I'm here and my order number is blah, blah, blah. And we'll bring it out the back and like, there you go, sir. Thank you very much. But the main reason for having as much stuff as we do in the shop is people like to look at stuff in real life.
Yeah.
We like poking things. So when we go buy something, we like poke it.
Yeah. So and I don't mind opening boxes for people. If they want to, like, if you come in and you want to have a look at, I don't know, War Games Atlantic grognards, for example, there's a hair flying around. Sorry. If you want to come and look at a kit, so you've seen it online and you think like, well, they look pretty cool, but the box art, the way they're painted or whatever, they look a bit weird. Well, let's open it up and you can have a look and see what it's like. We open model kits for folks all the time because you want to get a feel of how long the fuselage is on a plane or how big the wingspan is or whatever. Because the dimensions might be on the box, but you can't see that in like.
Yeah.
Not everybody can visualise it, can they?
So if you just bring it to the counter, then we can help you out.
But going in, if you look at a pair of Frostgrave figures on a website and it's a wizard and an apprentice, but you're only looking at, you don't see it. It's either a render or it's how they've painted it.
Yeah.
And you don't really get a feel for how big that is, and is that texture that they've put on the base, is that part of the model, but if you come into the shop and you can see that figure on the shelf, you can take that blister off and you can look at it and you just like flick it around a bit, don't you? So you can see like it from different angles. You can get a size comparison, so you could take that over to a Reaper skeleton or a spider or whatever and put them side by side and go like, yeah, that's going to work as a nice spider in this game or whatever, because that's about the right kind of size. But if you're just buying stuff faceless on the internet, you can't see that.
Yeah.
So that's why that's why we've got so much gear, and it's all there. It's all there, and we do get stuff, unfortunately, obviously, like gets walked out the door occasionally because there's so much stuff, and some of it's quite small and what have you, that like some light-fingered individuals decide to pocket a pot of paint here and there and what have you.
Look, I want to ask you a question about the shop as well. So obviously you've had a lot of people come back to the hobby that had a big break from when they were like 15, 16, 17, and then coming back in the like mid to late 30s and 40s and that. What would you say would be the demographic? Do you still have like a lot of young ones coming in now, or do you find it's mostly people that are our age, apart from Mrs. MLG who's not over 25? Would you what would be do you still get quite a lot of young people involved in the hobby?
Yeah, I would say so. We see definitely over the last few years, we've seen a kind of like progression. So kids come in and they play Pokemon or whatever. They might be interested in Pokemon, they might not play, but they collect the cards. And then they seem to evolve from Pokemon to like Warhammer because their parents are going like, oh, well, you know, we don't really want them playing on their consoles or whatever, so let's get them like a starter set for Christmas. And then we get them like through Warhammer, and then they come into the shop, and then they'll see people playing other games, and then they'll maybe have a go at that. And then, you know, so between, I don't know, 10 to 18 seems to be the age range. And a bit like I did, I'm sure you guys might be the same, I'm just making assumptions, but when I got to sort of 18, 19, and I found beer and girls, hobbying went out the window for quite some time. And I went and had a bit of a resurgence in my like early 20s. And then I kind of fell off the wagon a little bit again. And late 20s, I got back into it a bit more, didn't I? And then now, like, it just kind of takes over. But I see a lot of people, a lot of customers, they come in and they're maybe like mid-20s, they've got young families, they need something to keep them entertained in the evenings, so they're picking up a box of like minis and some paints and what have you, or whatever. So there's a gap, I think, between kind of 18, 19 and mid-20s. But that's slowly shrinking because folks don't go out to the pubs.
Yeah.
Finding like, so it is disappearing. We're getting more and more folks in.
And
I mean, we can't accommodate everybody that comes into the shop on a game night because there isn't enough space. But
that's the good thing about doing this podcast as well. It's like we've got Inferno Miniatures there who's just realised he's only 30 minutes away from you. So you'll probably be getting him up. He'll probably come up and spend an absolute fortune
nice.
As long as if you have Lego, you'll have him there forever. By the way, because he's a big Lego freak.
We're trying.
They don't
Lego.
like us.
Yeah, we're trying with Lego. So there was a Lego company a bit like GW. They don't like selling to folks that don't have a brick and mortar store. And there was a toy shop at the top of the street that closed down last year, and they were the only independent retailer for 30 miles.
Okay.
And when they've closed down, we've got in touch with Lego and said, like, look, you should let us have it because we already have like an established store and it's family owned and all this sort of stuff. Like, you should let us have it. And they went, oh, we're not opening any new accounts, sorry.
Yeah, they just won't let us.
So, but we have got an appointment. It's a couple of months away, but we have got an appointment with them at a toy fair in May. Where we've got an appointment to go and see if we can get.
We've got nowhere to fit it in the shop, but we're trying.
Yeah, we'll find some space. We'll find some space. But I think, from what I understand, Lego is a bit like some other miniature companies where they kind of say, well, you can't have that Indiana Jones exclusive set unless you've got the $2.5 grand's worth of Lego City that we tell you you've got to have.
But we're trying, and this is the furthest we've got with them so far. Yeah. So then we'll just have to see how it goes, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, we want Lego because
we like Lego. We play with Lego.
Yeah, something another cool thing to have for a one-stop hobby shop.
If you get Lego in, the next time I'm up, I'm not leaving your shop. So probably a good job you don't get it in for my safety more than anything else.
I think if we get Lego, then we'd have to have a Lego table.
Yes.
In store, so you could just
where
build
people can just come and build things on the table.
So our daughter plays with Lego, and she has some of the newer kits, but she has his Lego from the 80s, which we pressure washed so it was clean because it had been in the garage, and like cleaned it all up. But you've got like an old pirate 80s pirate ship.
Yeah, I had the pirate ship and the governor's ship and like the proper castles and stuff from when I was a kid.
So she has all that, and the weird like animals. So there's like a pig man.
Oh, they were Duplo from when I was really young.
Strange.
Yeah, I kept all my Lego. So we've got like moon bases and all sorts of stuff.
So we like Lego.
I don't have any instructions anymore. It's all just like loose bricks in massive tubs.
You can get all the instructions online nowadays.
No, who needs instructions?
There's a video that one of our Discord people really likes of this one trying to put together a 6+ quick build kit from Airfix without the instructions.
They're basically like
and I got grumpy with him because, as you may know from if you've seen some of our YouTube, there's just me holding my phone filming. We're so high tech. I got grumpy with him halfway through that I have to slide the instructions under the camera because he doesn't know how to put it together.
It was just that one tricky bit. Didn't want to go. It's all good. It's all good.
Just in the chat, he's been talking away all night, but Inferno Miniatures said that he does actually work in an independent Lego store, so he knows your problems, but he is offering to lend you a hand if you need to get some stuff in, because he might have a few contacts, I think, or something like that. So I'll ask Rich, drop them a line afterwards, mate. There you go. So there you go, bit of help for you.
Thank you very much.
Better. See, this is part of the fun of this podcast. Come on, you chat stuff to us, and then maybe you get an extra customer or two. So brilliant.
That'd be great.
We need like some kind of portal now that goes to like another dimension where the shop's bigger, so that we can fit everything in.
You don't need a kid to have a bedroom. Just make them sleep on a couch. Convert a kid's bedroom into a storeroom. You're fine.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We've already nicked half of her bedroom for the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because our house is tiny.
Yeah. To be fair, that was before she came along. So
yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
So, when you're not working in the shop and doing your online stuff and organising game nights, what do you do in your spare time? If you have any, what do you like to do in your downtime?
Sleep.
He doesn't have spare time, but if he does get occasional, can I just do this please, darling? It's sticking his models together and painting them and reading up on the rules for hopefully getting a game or sorting out his magic deck. It's all hobby related. We don't do anything that isn't hobby related. For our wedding anniversary, we went to Warhammer World. We don't do anything other. Like that's just it. That's just life because he likes it, don't you?
Oh yeah. We do occasionally do other stuff. We take the dog for a walk and
because the dog needs a walk, guys. That's just stuff that has to happen. We do some washing or put the dishwasher on.
No, it's just. I guess there's a lot of things in life that are like stressful, aren't they? And painting and just sitting down and sticking some stuff together, and it's just like relaxing, isn't it?
Yeah, apart from if you sit down and you're doing something and I'll go, just film that because that'll go on YouTube. And I'll go, that's just what I'm doing. I don't want to do it on film.
I did start playing Fallout the other day because a lot of people have been talking about Fallout. So Magic have just released Fallout Magic decks last Friday.
Okay.
And I've never played Fallout. I don't know anything about it. And people kept telling me about
We don't play a lot of computer games.
Is it Mr. President and Dogmeat and all these other characters that you might know from the Fallout universe? And it's like a really popular IP. There's miniature games of it, and I've never seen any of it. Don't know anything about it. So we've just started playing Fallout 4 because one of the guys that works for us described it as Skyrim, and I really like Skyrim.
I hated that game. I did that. I always tell this story when anybody mentions Skyrim, right? You know, like after about an hour, 2 hours being in Skyrim, and you try to steal stuff and villagers have chased you away, you end up meeting the guy who gives you a lassie as your companion.
Right.
I gave her all my stuff, all my good stuff, and then she just disappeared, and then I just gave up the game then.
Oh no, I've played through Skyrim several times. So like before, Mrs. MLG had the small person.
No, I can't say where's this going.
Oh no, so like you didn't want to like get to the hospital too early, did you?
It was playing Skyrim while I was in labour, and I was like, "You're fine, you got ages."
Yeah. Just carry on. I'm like, do you think we should maybe like go? She's like, no, you can play for another hour. It'll be fine.
Right.
Like,
You got another couple of bosses. MLG Junior will be out when she's ready.
Yeah. So, I've put a lot of hours into Skyrim. I've completed it several times over, and like now, my challenge is to find every location on the map that I missed the first few times. So yeah, I do occasionally put that on. I've been playing a bit of Dark Tide recently, so it's not all mini gaming. Occasionally, I will play a computer game, but yeah. So one of the guys described Fallout 4 as just being like Skyrim, and it's by the same same company in it, Bethesda. So it's very, very similar so far. But we played an hour or two of that last night.
Yeah, I can't do video games because they make I get travel sickness and they make me feel sick. So I don't mind watching, but I can't do it. I just walk into walls and I'm terrible, absolutely terrible. But,
you should be sitting down. You should be sitting down when you're playing video games, not wandering about.
Yeah.
My friend once made me put one of those VR things on, which are amazing. But like I was like, oh, don't like it. And I kept thinking when I take it off, they've all gone. Like played a trick on me because that's what my friends are like.
Nice.
So I take it Tony Howell is a regular of yours because he's put in the chat here, Skyrim Sunday and the quest for carrots. Nathan likes plenty of carrots in his pack.
He does.
You have to elaborate on that.
Yes, Tony's one of our community from the Discord, and we used to stream the Skyrim on Skyrim Sundays, and he always used to like it when we found carrots, didn't we? But we don't stream video games anymore. We stream less now. We used to stream 4 nights a week, but now we only do 2 because we decided that we weren't going to stream anymore on a Wednesday because we could go back to the shop and do all the DIY jobs that need doing on a Wednesday, because otherwise you don't get stuff done. So like
putting window displays in and all that sort of stuff just takes so much time, and it's easy to do when there's nobody about. It's easier.
You can't really drill through walls and hang stuff up when there's customers. Like, you know, it's frowned upon. So like we've got some big dragon heads, and we've got a white dragon that still needs to go up, but you need to like get the drills out and the hoover underneath and say, it just doesn't look good, does it, when you walk into a shop and someone's drilling dragons to the wall.
And we stopped doing Sundays because we decided we were going to try and reclaim a bit of time for family tea on a Sunday.
Yeah, because we have so we work until whatever, and then on a Thursday and a Friday it's late night gaming. So he'll get up at 6, and then he normally gets home about 1 in the morning, and then on Fridays the same. So I said to him, well, you know, a weekend really is for cutting the grass. What are you messing at? Get doing that. So we stopped streaming on a Sunday so we could get some jobs done.
Yeah.
Who needs sleep?
Well, not you.
We all sleep when we die.
That's it. Sleeping's cheating.
Sleeping's cheating.
That's it.
So, is it fair to say then, given everything that you've chatted to us about tonight and your experiences and everything that you've gone through, that the store is really a labour of love for you both. That it means a lot to you. It means a lot to your community, and that you're proud of what you're doing.
I would say so. Yeah, that's a pretty good summarisation.
If we didn't have the shop, we wouldn't have anything to talk about.
No, we'd have to talk about our work colleagues and all those kind of things that we used to talk about.
Yeah, you have to get a proper job and.
Yeah. No, I love it. It is a lot of hard work, but going back to the job that I used to do when I first started with the company that I used to work for, making people's day when you do something that like helps them or whatever is like one of the most satisfying things I think you can do, and having the shop is like part of that. I'm saying like far too much. I need to stop doing that. But it's very much part of that. So if you can find something for a customer that they didn't think that was in print anymore, or it could just be a chap came in today and he wanted a pot of satin black paint, and we didn't have any satin black paint. We've run out, but I suggested that he could use the matte black paint that he's already got and put some satin varnish over the top of it to get the same effect on his model boat. And he was like, why didn't I think of that? That's amazing. And he walked out with a massive smile on his face because he was going to get exactly what he wanted. And then he's got a pot of varnish he can use on like all his other stuff, whatever. But it's those little interactions that just make it really rewarding.
Yeah, we do loads of stuff, because that's, like I think I said at the beginning, when somebody says something to him about the shop, or, oh, this is really cool, when they walk in, just makes him happy for the rest of the day. Like, it's just, you just like it, don't you? It's like when we, I'm saying like now because you are, we had some, I think they were beavers or scouts, I can't remember which, they came in to do some painting sessions, because we do that as well. So they came in to do some painting sessions, and we provided them all with some Space Marines and some paint and etc. And they were all having an awesome time. And then this one mentioned Golden Demon, and they were all like, "Can we enter the Golden Demon then?" And so you were talking to them about that, weren't you? And there was they left all their names and their contact details so that we could enter them into this competition, because they were so excited about painting this. And it's like, obviously they're not going to win Golden Demon, but the fact that they were just having such an awesome time painting the miniatures, and they went home with massive smiles on their faces and took their miniatures home to show their parents, and they put on the scout group, put it on their Facebook, and all that. And it was just one afternoon of awesome painting and just making kids happy. We didn't get like any profit or money or anything like that, but that wasn't what it was for. They had an awesome time, which then made him smile for the rest of the week, because the kids were just so happy with what they'd done and the conversations he was having with them. And one of them like ripped the arm off the mini and was putting blood all over it and telling him how it
yeah. It was great. It was awesome. It was awesome. Just cool.
But you wouldn't be able to do it. So the way that we have the shop, so there's us two, obviously, and then we have staff members that go home at 5 o'clock, and that's it for them, because that's it's a job. Like when we worked a proper job, that's what you do, isn't it? So, but we have to then continue on, etc. And if you didn't do it as a labour of love, if you weren't enjoying it, and if this wasn't passion, then you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you can't
just, oh God, I've got to do that again. That's you won't be able to.
We're not a corporation, so I guess although we are directors, we're not like sitting in an office shuffling paper, and we're there doing the stuff. So Mrs. MLG's adding products to the website and talking to folks on social media, and I'm in the shop talking to people and helping them find pots of paint and what have you. We're not so far removed from the operation that we don't see what's going on, like perhaps some other companies are. But it's like a 24-hour lifestyle, really. Yeah. At the stage of business that we're at, I guess, isn't it? Like, because
and that comes across, like, even in the chat, like, we've been doing this since August September August, September time, and I don't think we've had as much interaction in the chat than we've had tonight, which is, and all of it's been positive. There's not been one negative thing I've seen in the chat about these. I mean, you've got, like, all I keep seeing is the Lanceteers. Like, you definitely come across as such a warming couple together in business owners. It's so great to see. And as you said, like, if it was just a labour, it is a labour of love. Like, it's kind of like with the Inquisition. Like, not once I wrote, I need to do this week. I enjoy coming and do it. I enjoy doing it. And I think Casey's the same as well. So, like, I totally get where you're coming from with that sort of thing. And I'm rambling because I'm dying of man flu, and I apologise. Sorry.
It's all right.
You need some sleep and lots of fluids.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've slept so much today, but I'm going to have to go back to work tomorrow. So, yeah. Like, dose myself up with Benylin Cold and Night. Other brands are available. The Aldi ones are pretty rubbish. But yeah, like, I don't know what I'm going to say. Oh, one thing I'm going to ask, do you mail to Ireland at all? The Republic? Do you do overseas mailing?
We do. So, since Brexit, posting stuff internationally has been an absolute nightmare. And to be fair, posting stuff into Ireland is worse than getting it anywhere else in the world. So, just last week, I had 3 parcels returned to us that we'd sent to Ireland, and in 2 of the situations, they'd stuck a label, Royal Mail or An Post or whatever it is that you guys have there, had stuck a label over the customs label that said that it didn't have a valid customs label on. And they'd put it on top of the proper CN22 label that we put on the parcels that was fully filled in, and they've stuck it on. Anyway. But,
things like that make him grumpy.
Yeah, so it is really difficult. But because customs and everything is so tough to deal with, we've actually, on the website, we've set the international shipping rates really high. But there is like a disclaimer on the shipping page that says, if you want some stuff and you're out of this area, contact us and we'll do you a bespoke shipping quote.
We pick it and pack it and weigh it, and then tell you exactly how much it's going to be.
Because we want to get it with a courier or whatever that we know it's going to get to you.
What I'll do is I'll get my stuff sent to. I live near the border, so I'll get my stuff sent to Strabane.
Oh, well, we've got a couple of customers that do that.
And there's a
so we send them to Northern Ireland, and they get there really quick because it's Royal Mail, and they like.
There's a place called the postal store where I think they charge you £3 to pick it up there. So that's what I'll do. So I'll definitely be placing an order when Mrs. Holmes gets paid tomorrow. Not that she knows that yet, but that's what's happening.
No problem. Yeah, we can definitely sort that out. But if you want it shipping to Southern Ireland, just let us know and we'll sort you out.
Not just. I would end up having to pay, because what I've found out as well, if you're receiving something, you have to pay a customs fee. So say I bought stuff off of you and then you put the value of it being £50, they would then charge me a percentage of that as a customs fee and then a administration fee. So when I did the Hobby Vices Secret Santa, this guy sent stuff over from America and it ended up costing me like €30 to get the stuff, which was just...
And I think that might be the reason why we get parcels returned, because folks aren't expecting to have to pay it. So we've already paid the duty on it to make sure that you get it, you know, because it's less than 150 quid or whatever. So it's included in the IOSS scheme or whatever it is. So everything's done properly. But then you still have to pay a fee to collect it, and they go, well, I don't want to pay anything. Well, you shouldn't have to, should you? Because you've already paid for it once.
Stupid Brexit. That's what it is. Stupid Brexit.
Yeah. It's a nightmare.
Cool.
It is a nightmare.
Well, look, I think that's a good time. We've had you on for a while, and we've taken up your evening. Obviously, it's your DIY night, so you've got to go hang up a dragon, and we don't want to keep you in your store till midnight.
Smash an Easter egg into my face after this.
Yeah.
Look, I want to thank you both very much for coming on and agreeing to come on to. I mean, I remember I messaged you first of all back in December asking if you fancied it, and you've been great sports coming on and chatting to us tonight, and we love you for it. Just for anyone in the chat that doesn't know who you are, they've been under a rock the whole time we've been doing this podcast. Where can anyone find you? Your store, your social medias, all of that.
So yes, we are Mighty Lancer Games. You can find us in Bridlington in East Yorkshire in the UK. mightylancergames.co.uk or .com, both will work. And if you find a website, across the top of the website, all of our social medias are linked there. The Discord, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
TikTok,
X. It's
Twitter. We're not calling it that.
Yeah, all of those kind of things are all linked across the top of the website. That is the easiest place to find everything. And there's a little ticket symbol there that shows you all the events that we're running in store coming up.
The next one is Warhammer tournament.
40k Combat Patrol tournament at the end of the month. But all sorts of stuff planned throughout the year. There are different things, including a Gorkamorka campaign day.
Which she's really excited about.
Once we finish this tonight, my IT guy's sitting in front of me looking at me. Yep, he's looking at me. If he's still chatting to me by tomorrow morning, he'll upload the video onto YouTube, and then I'll send you guys the link, and then you can cut and paste whatever you want from then. But I'm relying on my 17-year-old to do the IT work for me. Our hidden gem behind the camera. Ain't that right, look? Good idea.
Brilliant. Cool. Well, that wraps up tonight's episode. Can't for the life of me remember who we've got on next week, but we'll put something up online tomorrow about it, won't we, Dunk?
Yep.
Anything else from yourself there?
No, again, guys, thanks very much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully if we're still doing this towards the end of the year, we'd love to have you back on just to see how your campaigns and how your summer and that's went on, and if you've started an MLG 2 shop.
Yeah, maybe. If we won the lottery. Well, yeah, we're not going to retire if we win the lottery. We'll just open another shop somewhere.
That's what he says, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much for having
Thanks very much.
Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, folks.
You know I don't know how to hang up, don't you?
Yeah, bye.